Hey guys, I'm making this video that if you struggle with paranoia, whether it be um, whether if you're on a drug or you have schizophrenia or just some other disorder, not necessarily schizophrenia, but a psychotic disorder or just any disorder that I'm not aware of that includes paranoia, or let's just say you're undiagnosed and you're paranoid. Okay, paranoia. That means you are suspicious that, and well, I'll use an example. You're suspicious people are after you. It's kind of like anxiety, but normally it's pretty far fetched, and it's like it's a little fishy. You don't know if something's wrong with it, but you think there might be, and so let's say you don't eat the food or you don't go on the walk. Your friend wants to go for a walk, but you don't trust that on the walk it is safe. So actually, is a cure for this. It's that like people think really drugs cause paranoia, and people think paranoid schizophrenic is a paranoid schizophrenic. Well, I like to present a cure. So let me show you how to fix an example. Let's say you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Someone made it for you. You have been diagnosed with schizophrenia. You have been paranoid for years. You have the sandwich, but you don't want to eat it because you feel they poisoned it. So the actual cure for this is actually well, there's two things you need to know how to do in that. And I think this, you know, mindfulness and also no fear of death, and that's the main thing. No fear of death and mindfulness. So mindfulness, you actually just eat the sandwich. You focus on all the textures. You taste it. You might even sniff it and feel the bread. There's no limit to how far you can go. Usually you can go pretty far lengths with mindfulness alone, without being bothered. Without seeming weird. It might look pretty weird alone, but you're being very mindful, and it's honestly a very peaceful state. Because in that you aren't thinking that, and that's what people normally do. People normally aren't paranoid. They'll eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the thing that those people have actually is they just aren't suspecting things that are just far fetched and just very, very, very strange to believe in. But also, there's a certain anxiety to it. In a way, I'd almost call it. It doesn't really have to be called far fetched anxiety, but anxiety itself is rather a paranoia. But far fetched anxiety is very like just you would no one most people would not think such a thing, but yet you are anxious about this. So um, you eat the sandwich with presence. You are present in the moment. You are there. You are eating a sandwich. You are all textures. I'm not saying you have to eat it. You don't have to eat if you don't want to. You don't even have to listen to this video if you don't trust it. You think for yourself. But I'm just saying that and also you don't in the fear in not fearing death. Not fearing death is a big one with paranoia, because a lot of times I feel like schizophrenics and people who are paranoid worry about being killed. They don't know what happens. Well, let me tell you, it, death is not the end, because life is fixed. You don't know what fixed means. I mean, it's based in the eternal. I know it sounds crazy. It probably sounds too deep. It sounds way deep. Probably don't even quite understand what I meant. But it's based in the eternal. Life cannot end. I'm not gonna make this video all about like why you can't die. That'll be another video, honestly. But um, you know, you are at least you can at least know that just life is fixed. And the reason I'll give you one reason it's fixed, okay, is because you know death, the end of the body. Let's think you died. What would that mean if people think death is the end? You know, they think one thing. They think that nothing happens when you die. I think this might be something that can happen. And actually, Buddhists believe enlightened people actually are not reborn, and they actually are fond of this because they know that within that nothingness, there's actually infinite peace. And I have a theory that may possibly within, if you are in that nothingness, I mean, forever could pass by. You wouldn't know it. There would be no time. There would be no forever as a concept. But perhaps if there is lives in which like there is nothing, that nothingness actually has a somethingness to it. So like actually, the fact that if there was nothing when you died, that would actually be totally peaceful. There would be no, you wouldn't be there, and that. I mean, people worry about it. I mean, I think do believe in reincarnation, because they're worried they'd be in that nothingness. They'd suffer with it. Oh no, I'm suffering. I'm in nothingness. You know, it's like, well, if there really was nothing, then you wouldn't be there. So, yeah, explain clearly, what you're worried about. If you think that really is going to happen, you're gonna be stuck there. Then honestly, that would in a way be a form of hell, perhaps. And then again, the moment you aren't there, so focus on the moment. If you really think you're gonna go to that place, you can't just believe it. You're gonna go to a form of hell, then at least be present in the moment. Okay, maybe one day you'll change your beliefs. Um, and those are two great tips to not being paranoid. Not only are you not worrying about death and you are focusing on the moment, there is a certain trust within that presence, because that is what the people who are not paranoid have. They have that presence. They are not thinking about far-fetched paranoias. They are really here, and not fearing death is a great one. So guys, this video, bye.